Hi guys, this is Matt Hickey from Pit Lane Parlay. I am going to go through the F1 2021 field and rank my favorite liveries from I absolutely hate it to hey, that's pretty good looking. So thank you so much for tuning in here. Please give us a follow on Twitter at Pit Lane Parlay, Parley, and I am at Hickey93. Super excited for the Formula One season here. All the clips used in this episode are officially Formula One clips, so I do not own the rights to any of those. Please do not sue me. Coming in at number 10 is unfortunately Ferrari. What were you thinking? Did you look at your car before you pressed send on the rendering and put it on the car? What were you doing? I don't understand the burgundy at the rear. I love the Ferrari red, of course. It's a fantastic color. But transitioning to burgundy and then the mission winnow color is in lime. Why did you do that? Who thought that was a good idea? It is absolutely in shambles. And Ferrari, it's hard to mess up a Ferrari livery. You just throw some red sponsor logos on there and you call it good. What were you thinking? It's terrible. I feel bad for Carlos and Charles. They have to deal with that car all year. Hopefully it's fast because it doesn't look very good, unfortunately. But that's a pretty big disappointment for all the Ferrari fans out there. Coming in at number 9 is McLaren. I do like the color scheme. I don't like that basically nothing changed from last year's livery, which I'm not saying that liveries have to change every season, but I would appreciate a little bit of freshening. And if you are going to keep the same livery, that first one has to be a knockout. And I didn't think last year's car was that great looking. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And then this year's basically the same, just a couple of minor changes. But I just don't like it, if I'm being honest. So I don't know if that's harsh, but it's coming at number 9 for me. Coming in at number 8 is Mercedes, your 2021 Constructors Champions, most likely. So this car will be immortalized, which is kind of a bummer because it honestly looks like something someone threw together on Microsoft Paint when you get to the engine cover there. I don't understand why there's 15 AMG logos there, and I hate the red font. I don't mind the white. I would just get rid of all the AMG logos and change the font. I mean, I actually saw the car on track, and it's really actually hard to read the font. I don't know if that's just me or what, but it's not the best Mercedes livery. Last year's was their best by far, and I think this year's is a swing and a miss. Number 7 for me is Haas. I think it is actually one of their more refreshing liveries they've ever run, but unfortunately there's a Russian flag in 2 spots in the car because of Haas's second driver's daddy's money is now heavily involved in the team, so they plastered the Russian flag on there, which is weird because Mazepin can't even run the Russian flag on his fire suit and the Russian flag on his nameplate for the graphics because of the ban for 2 years. But they can throw it on the car, which is a little puzzling. If there wasn't that predominant Russian flag on the only American F1 team, then it would probably go up my list to maybe 5th. But I just don't like the Russian flags on there. It is refreshing, though, that the color scheme, it looks clean. Again, it's just that flag. I also kind of wish that for Mick, I saw some people post on Instagram a rendering of what Mick's car would look like with the German flag instead on his car, which that looked sick. But, poor Mick is running under that car, and I think it's pretty ugly for him. So hopefully it's fast because I do like Mick, but the car could be a little better. All right, now we're moving into the territory of cars that I don't necessarily hate. At number 6 is Alfa Romeo. I do like the refreshing take on their livery. I do think they subtly changed it. They kind of swapped colors. They switched the white with the red, and I do think it's refreshing. I kind of like it. It's a new take on their livery, and with Ferrari's increased power this year, maybe we'll see it up on the grid a little more. Similarly to Alfa Romeo, at number 5 is Alfa Tauri, who kind of also did a small swap of the colors and then a new kind of refreshing look in their car. I like it. I think navy blue and white is one of the most underrated color combos. They make it look really good. And again, it's another one of those teams where hopefully they're going to be contending for that maybe P4, P5 area in the constructors, because I definitely think they can pull it off. Kind of depends on Hideki and what he can do, but we know what Gasly can do, and I think this car definitely is a good looking start. So hopefully it's fast because it looks really clean. All right, the one you may disagree with the most on my list might be number 4, Red Bull. Now, Red Bull has basically run this scheme, I think, since 2016, if I'm not mistaken. And I am, again, not saying that people need to change their liveries every year. And if you find a knockout livery, use it. McLaren ran the Marlboro colors forever, and then they switched to West, and they ran the West colors for a solid 8, 9 years. And they made subtle changes every year, and I liked it. I think it was a really good looking car, and we've had other teams throughout history that have kind of stuck with the same car, but I still really like this car, so I give it a 2 thumbs up for me. All right, the top 3 for me are the 3 liveries that are way new compared to last year. At number 3, Williams. I thought Williams' rocket cars were pretty bad. I think the one they were going to run last year before Rocket pulled out, though, was above average. It wasn't my favorite, but it was definitely better than what they were running with the kind of half Martini, half Rocket cars. And then the livery they ended up with was clean, but it wasn't necessarily eye-catching for 2020. And then so now they have new ownership. They're still under the Williams name, though. And then so this livery came out, and I think it is stunning. I really like it. I especially like the caramel gold, kind of yellowish gold there at the front of the car and throughout the car. I love the different shades of blue. I like the black. I like the number font. I like where the number font is located on the rear. I think it's a great looking car. I definitely think it's one of Williams' best looking cars in recent memory. I think maybe back to, the Hewlett Packard days or the compact days. I think it's in that territory. Some of their liveries after they separated from BMW wasn't that great. Their Martini cars early on were pretty good, but then obviously, the Rathmans and Camel days, I think this is kind of right up there in my opinion for really, really good looking cars. So well done to Williams. I hope it is as fast as it looks, because I would really like to see Williams get back up to the front of the grid, but that might be lofty expectations. But at least George Russell has a really good looking ride this year. Coming in at number 2 is one of the most highly anticipated liveries in recent memory, with the newly launched Aston Martin Racing. Was Racing Point last year. The British Racing Green on this car just looks phenomenal. The sponsor logos are really well put out on the car. They look great. I think the one thing I would say is that with BWT coming back on the team, they are the sponsors that have kind of put that pink livery that we've seen the last several years. So that stripe there, I think, was going to be like a neon yellow, which is odd because having the Aston Martin name back as a team is phenomenal. And number 1 is the newly launched Alpine Racing, which was formerly Renault. And my God, did they knock it out of the park with their first livery. It is absolutely stunning. That metallic blue and just the way the sponsors are laid out, the French flag accent on the front wing, the logo kind of cleverly worked into the rear, but like in a better way than Alpha Tauri and Alfa Romeo. I feel like the logos on their cars kind of take up too much of the rear engine cover, but Alpine's kind of just works. It blends right in there. It is such a good looking car. It's honestly one of my favorites I've seen in the last decade or so. It is just a fantastic looking car. I believe that Sean Bull, who does a lot of great livery concepts, was consulted on this one, and it's pretty apparent because it is just a great looking car. So well done to Alpine. Hopefully, maybe on looks alone, it might knock them in the grid. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you want to check out our YouTube channel, please subscribe and like it below, and we will hopefully see you guys at a track soon.